right.
All right, everybody.
We are back.
We are. A long time no talking.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So if you didn't know,
Yes.
we're reviewing Grabbed by the Ghoulies
Yes.
for the Xbox.
Yes.
Yes.
Taking us back to, what, 2003?
Yeah.
2000? I'm trying to remember what year it was. I think it was 2003.
Yeah. Game that... do you have any experience with back in the day?
Before this.
Yeah.
No, I'd heard the name before, and I kept mixing it up with other titles, I think, because for the longest time, I'm like, what is this game? And then when we finally picked it, I was like, oh, yes, this is going to be interesting. And a game I had never played before this, and I'm glad we picked.
Yeah, that was something that was in the rare replay.
Yes.
For originally for the Xbox One.
Yes.
Backwards compatible on the Xbox Series S and X.
Yes, which is really nice to have.
Yes. Yeah, I think this game like really came out of nowhere for me. It looked interesting and it looked very appealing.
Yeah, for sure. It was something different. And Rare had made so many great games, obviously, that we were familiar with. The Donkey Kong Country ones jump out as, like, the biggest ones.
Yes.
But a lot of other titles, everything from Perfect Dark, and, Banjo and Kazooie, GoldenEye, all that kind of stuff. So it was one of these games that I'm like, I wonder how I missed this when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But even just looking at the front of it and hearing the title of it, I was just like, I'm not exactly sure what to expect yet from this game. And I had to say, I was very pleasantly surprised with a lot of it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to initially.
Yes.
Yeah, but I guess, what about you? Did you have any experiences with this before?
I mean, honestly, I probably looked at it in the stores.
Yeah.
But I had no idea, that Rare made it.
Right.
And, I mean, I was kind of, shocked. I remember when picking up Rare Replay and just, like, baffling that Xbox owned Rare first off. And
I know, in our minds, that we always think of it back as, like, it's Nintendo
It's
days.
Nintendo, yeah, exactly. So
especially, like, Super Nintendo with, like, country games, and then, really, N64, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, all that stuff, like... things that really stick out with you. So it was like, man, I didn't realize they had been around so long before that.
Yes.
And certainly not that they switched over to other systems after that.
Yeah, exactly. The game I have no experience with. I played on Rare Replay for the first time.
Yeah.
And I just popped it in one day and it was very interesting. It was fun.
Yeah.
The whole room to room concept was, something different. I never really played something like that before.
Yeah. And it's nice not having to worry about like saving the game constantly or like finding a save point. And it really kind of takes a genre of like the idea of like puzzles, but in this case more of like not really like a true survival horror, but almost like a beat 'em up kind of aspect to it. And then taking that and throwing like a comedic kind of spin to things.
Yes.
With the characters and a lot of the way they did it. That really gives it a lot of character that, I feel like they took something that we've seen, some aspects of before and just really made it their own in a very cool way.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely have never played a game like this. Also the combat using the right thumbstick, only, I think that was very unique in itself. And
once you kind of get used to it, it's actually pretty fun.
Like it's definitely not a survival horror, obviously, because it's like everything is pretty linear. But it's a good, like, if you want to start into the horror genre, this would be a perfect game to start.
Yeah, get you a little more comfortable with the feel of moving around, fighting things, and using a lot of items that you find in the rooms. That's one of the things I liked about it, too, is there's so many different things that you could use as an item, or items in the room that you could pick up and start swinging and hitting the ghoulies.
Yes.
Anyone that's in your way, so you learn that just about anything could hypothetically be a weapon.
Yeah.
You just see the little hand thing by it, you pick it up, and you start swinging.
Yes, exactly. And, the different ways to clear the room. It keeps the game fresh.
Yeah.
You're in a lot of the same rooms, like a couple times, maybe 3, 4.
Right.
But
going back and forth through like the mansion and different things.
Yeah, exactly.
And the challenges really help to keep things interesting and challenging.
Yes.
Where certain things you want to do to get through it without issues. Otherwise, our not so good friend the Reaper shows up and chases you down and tries to kill you before you get through.
Yeah.
So you want to stick to the challenges as much as you can, but like sometimes you screw something up or you're like, oh crap. But the good thing is like there's not like a limit to how many times you can continue. You don't have like a limited amount of lives. Basically, it's just as much patience and time as you got. You can get through it.
Yes, exactly.
And you get better over time, just like anything else. So you learn little tricks, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm kind of disappointed they never came out with a second one, but
they talked about it like in like the later part of like the 2000s about them doing one. It's just a shame that there wasn't enough support at the time. I feel like a lot of people didn't know this game even came out when it did.
Yeah.
And I think that also was tricky with it because it was originally going to be for the GameCube.
Yes.
And then it got kind of ported over once Rare was bought by Microsoft.
Yes.
So then they switched it over there, and I feel like it just kind of got lost in the shuffle of things.
Yeah.
Because again, I never even knew it came out. I probably walked by it and probably saw it, somewhere in a store, but never really. It never registered for me,
right?
That it was like that. So I think a lot of people, myself included, just missed out on it when it came out and didn't know it was even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So its sales weren't the best, unfortunately, probably due to those factors.
Yeah, I think it just right timing, right place. It didn't have that, unfortunately.
Right.
I think now it might be more received better with the Rare Replay. I think it's brought a lot more attention to the game.
I could see it being a kind of game that has, pardon the term, but like a cult following where a lot of people, I think, would really enjoy it now.
Yes.
And probably do.
Yes.
But again, it was something that was missed at the time and probably not appreciated by enough people back then because they just didn't know it was around.
Right.
They didn't know what it was all about either. You look through a case at a store, look at all the games, and you would just look at it and not really know what the heck it is, and it probably wouldn't jump out to you the same way because you wouldn't really know, like, what it was all about.
Right, exactly. Well, I think that's kind of interesting about the Xbox in general. I feel like they had a lot of games like that. Yeah. Where it was under the radar and they were trying to like come out with a console with their own games and whatnot.
Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, this is like for them it's, for their like a exclusive for their system. So it's something different and not everyone has an Xbox, and if you didn't have an Xbox, you wouldn't really have any other way to play it. Right. So, with Nintendo and especially PlayStation and all that stuff, it's tougher for a game that is exclusive to one of those consoles.
Yeah.
To necessarily do again. I mean, an Xbox itself was still, kind of pretty new.
In the infancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Halo, I mean, they that was really their first title. Yeah. I'm not even that big of a fan of Halo, but it was, what put them on the map, really. Right. So in the beginning stages, they didn't have that go-to game to put them over the top. Like, I mean, when I bought... I guess I could explain the history of me buying an Xbox. At the time, I was trying to go for more adult-themed games, and I felt like N64 didn't have that. And I was getting older, obviously. Yeah. So that's why I went to the Xbox. But, in the beginning, it was just the titles that you knew from, like, other platforms or that were multi-platform. But I wish I would have got this right away because I think I would have really enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely.
At that point. So.
A lot of fun with it and just a lot of character to it.
Yes.
My brother got an Xbox, I'm trying to remember exactly when, but he might have gotten it even when he left for college already. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have an Xbox until he came back and then I could use his. So I didn't get an Xbox until an Xbox 360. of my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't really see a lot of the Xbox games. I think most of the time when I played Xbox games, it was when I came over to your house.
Yeah,
way
exactly.
back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Silent Hill 2, I remember that one.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think the
2.
Xbox was pretty innovative with how it had a hard drive on it, and you could like store music and like
that was really
play
cool.
the music in the game. Certain games would allow you to put the like clips of the songs in there.
I wish that we would have that still. That was so nice.
They just do not do that anymore, which kind of stinks. But
right.
So, all right, why don't we get in the history of the game, and then we can kind of dive in.
Yeah, take us down
everything.
The road
so, yeah, let's jump on in.
Yes.
All right, Grabbed by the Ghoulies is an action-adventure game developed by Rare and published by Microsoft Game Studios, exclusively for the Xbox. It was released in North America in October 2003 and in Europe in November. It was re-released worldwide on the Xbox 360 as a downloadable Xbox Live Originals game in February of 2009. This was removed from the store in June 2015, 2 months before a remastered version was released as part of the Rare Replay compilation for Xbox One.
Yeah.
The game follows a young boy, Cooper, who sets out to rescue his girlfriend from a haunted mansion infested with supernatural creatures.
Ghoulies, you might say.
Having originally been in development for the GameCube, Grabbed by the Ghoulies was the first Rare game to be published by Microsoft after Rare was bought by them in 2002. The game was met with mixed reviews upon release. Criticism was directed at the gameplay, but the game's graphics and style were praised. Grabbed by the Ghoulies was nominated for the Console Family Game of the Year prize at the 7th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards. So
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so
they got some love.
Exactly. So the reception was, hit or miss. I think it kind of got reviews all over the place, but it wasn't necessarily panned. The lowest score that I'm seeing is a 66 out of 100. Yeah. Everything else either had like a C+, 8 out of 10, C, 7 out of 10. So I don't think it was terrible reviews, but maybe it didn't have the most stellar reviews. And obviously, with the changing of the companies, that's always gonna.
I could see
kind of
being
hurt
an
it.
Easy game for people to not really give a chance.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem.
Yeah, new characters.
New characters.
Not a lot of hype. Not a lot of advertisement.
Right. So you look at it and you might not even give it a chance and not really even know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
But if you play it for even just a little while, I feel like it becomes I don't know. Not necessarily addictive, but very much like you want to keep going and get past those challenges and just kind of see what the characters are doing, because there's a lot of funny interaction and just the way they put the humor in it's very enjoyable.
Yes. A lot of humor actually. Yeah. For the game. I think
that's one of the things that I liked a lot about it. It's it's a game that kind of pokes fun at itself.
Yes.
Well, you're poking at the Ghoulies.
So why don't we go over the characters of the game?
Sure.
Not the enemies, but the characters. We'll start with Cooper. Cooper, the game's protagonist, is a teenage boy who must brave the horrors of Ghoulhaven Hall to rescue his girlfriend.
Yes.
He's your main character that you start with.
Yep.
So, Amber, she is Cooper's girlfriend and the main focus for the first 2 chapters.
Yes.
Third is Baron Von Ghoul.
Oh, yes, the Baron.
The insane owner of Ghoulhaven Hall and boss of the Ghoulies. He has a habit of kidnapping children who appear tied up around the mansion.
Yes. He also sometimes sounds a little bit like Waluigi.
He does, actually a lot. And they're both tall and skinny, and there's a lot of similarities. They do. Crivens is the feeble old butler of Ghoulhaven Hall.
My favorite, good old Crivens.
Yes, he helps Cooper in various parts of his adventure. Ma Soupswill.
Yes.
A strange chef who leaves her super soups around Ghoulhaven Hall. During Chapter 2, she helps cook a mixture for Cooper to return Amber to normal.
Yes, and she is kind of like the best character in a lot of ways, too. She's funny. She gives you soup. There's a point in the game where she has a giant spoon that she can beat up ghoulies with. I mean, what more do you want?
I mean, right? The whole package.
Exactly.
The total package.
The total package. That's right.
Mr. Ribs, Marsupial's cooking assistant. Mr. Ribs is a skeleton and the only friendly ghoulie whom Cooper encounters.
Yes, I never throughout the game really connected the dots that he was actually like her like assistant and helper. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it seems obvious now.
Yeah,
but at the time I didn't realize. Although I did love Mr. Ribs. He was a funny guy who talks in a funny kind of way of talking.
He does, and he talks smack to you a little bit while you're going through it.
He does.
Yeah.
And he talks in the third person. He always refers to himself as Mr. Ribs.
Mr. Ribs. That's
so,
right.
you know, I got to give him some props.
Fiddlesworth, done fiddling.
I know that's one of your favorites.
He is. I mean, he's Scottish, Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fiddlesworth is the friendly yet bumbling groundskeeper of Ghoulhaven Hall. Babs Buffbrass. She is the cranky cleaning lady of Ghoulhaven Hall. Babs hates it when any kind of mess is made.
Which we make a lot during the game.
That's right.
So we're not on the top of Babs' list there.
Yeah. And then Dr. Crackpot, a mad scientist who briefly turns Amber into a ghoulie.
Yes, he's an interesting little guy.
Yes. Yes. So I guess now that we've introduced the characters, let's go through the Ghoulies.
The Ghoulies.
The Ghoulies, yes. The first one is Ancient Mummy.
Oh, I hated these guys so much.
Yep, and they like to hump the air.
They do. It's very weird. Very weird to see.
Oh.
Yes. They make all kinds of weird grunting sounds, and they just pull random things out and whack you with them. I think the mummies are really annoying, too, because you can't kill them in conventional means. You can't just beat them with things.
Yes.
You can knock them down, but you need to kill them with fire.
Yeah, yep. And not every level has them.
No.
So you can't sometimes kill them at all, or you just kind of got to avoid them in some spots. But
right, and
I say like 90% of the levels you can kill them, but there are a few where you cannot. So.
Yeah, there's a few where you just have to keep running and try to stay away from them and do whatever else you need to do to get to the next stage. But yeah, they're probably one of the most annoying enemies in the game because of that limit, and because when they hit you for so much damage.
Yeah.
And they can stun you and all kinds of things. So So yeah.
When they take out the giant staff.
Yes.
I don't mean that in a sexual way.
No. Hopefully they don't either.
Well, they do like to hump, though.
They do. They make a lot of suggestive noises. I should just say as a side point, like that the characters never like speak in English or any language, really. You just hear kind of like kind of sounds.
Yes.
Which actually, I kind of feel like adds a lot to the comedic value of everything.
Yes.
So that like you'll see like written stuff on the screen sometimes of characters talking back and forth, but you'll just hear somebody go like, and I don't know why, but I really enjoyed that.
Yes. I think that was like a thing in like the 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, like the Sims did that.
They did that in Animal Crossing. They still have where like you would hear like Animalese or whatever they call it, and you just like hear like these little sounds coming out, and then you would see the text on the screen, but they wouldn't be like actually like talking in a language, it'd be kind of like gibberish.
Yes.
Like
the emotion you could kind of get, you could tell, but like everything else was just kind of gibberish.
Right. I thought that was always pretty a cool idea.
Yeah. I don't mind it, actually.
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
All right, now this enemy I couldn't stand, the Cursed Mummy.
The Cursed Mummy is somehow even worse than the regular one.
Boo, boo, ba, ba, boo, boo.
Yeah, sounds like the other one's just kind of deeper and even harder to like kill because he sends all kinds of junk at you. And rarer than the other ones, too. He's usually hiding in something. Yeah,
you usually get him out by accident.
Yeah.
There's very rare times where he's just out and walking.
Yeah, just out hanging out, be like, what's up, guys?
And he does this, like, curse to you. That's why he's called the Cursed Mummy, but it's like a flaming skull that kind of, like, follows you, and if it hits you, he brings it closer to you and then just whacks you with the tombstone or the stone.
He's a real pain in the butt.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him. You don't encounter him that much, but
usually he's almost always in stages where you have like the regular mummy, and he's usually hidden somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But there's plenty of areas where you face the regular mummies where you don't face him. So
correct.
It's one of those where there's a lot of breakable items, especially like large pottery like things. Just be careful.
Yes, and you can also throw him into the fire as
well. You can, yes. So you can take him down as well. It's just got to be ready for him.
That's right. Next we have the fire imps. You don't see them often.
No, they're tough though because you can't really do a lot to them. You need the fire extinguisher item.
Yes.
Which certain characters will give you items sometimes for usually a pretty short period of time, like for the remainder of a stage that you can use against certain enemies, and they're really nice to have. But when they take them back from you, you miss them.
Yes.
Because like in this case, the fire extinguishers to take those fire imps down is huge. Because otherwise, you try to hit them and you just end up taking damage.
Yeah.
Because they're on fire.
Yeah, I mean the fire extinguisher too. You can't use it that long,
That's
so
true.
you got to let it refill.
Juice.
Yep. So you don't encounter them much in the game. I think maybe 2, 3, 4 times at most.
Usually in really specific areas.
Yeah, I remember in the kitchen you do encounter them.
Where they keep coming out of like Ma Soupwell's pot or cauldron or whatever.
Yes.
We're like, oh geez, yeah.
Then next you got the flying imp.
Yes.
A little less annoying version, I would say, because they're not on fire.
But otherwise, they're kind of the same. They're in the air, flying, trying to kick you. You can usually like juke and jive and make them kind of miss you.
Yes.
But it's tough when there's a whole bunch of them coming from different angles.
They almost do like the kamikaze kind of death drop
like a dive
on you.
Bomb kind of thing,
And you can kind of get out of the way of it because you'll hear it coming.
Right.
It's a distinct sound, but
it definitely stands out. It's tricky when you're in an area where there's a lot of them. If they're coming at you from different angles, it can be like kind of trying to weave and get out of there. So they're not usually too bad, but they can definitely be annoying.
Exactly. Yep. Next is the Ghoulie Amber, which is basically a boss battle for the most part.
Yes.
So
you're Cooper, the main character, his girlfriend Amber, the one who's been kidnapped, is basically given some kind of a thing by Dr. Crackpot, I believe? Yes, that turns her into a giant green troll-looking version of herself.
Yeah.
That is also, like, kind of crazy and tries to get to you and is very tough to fight, actually.
She's actually really tough. Yeah, she is hard. I had a lot of struggles with her.
Yeah,
but we will get into her boss battle a little later.
Yes.
But
stay tuned for that.
Only time that you ever have to encounter her. The haunted chair. We run into those quite often.
Yes, there's a lot of haunted objects in the game, and the haunted chair is one of the more common ones where it'll start jumping at you and chasing you around. So it's basically just an animated item that sometimes you look at it, you could pick up, or it looks like an item you could pick up, and then it tries to attack you and you get too close.
Correct. And then you got the haunted coat. Whoa!
Oh yes, the haunted coat is actually more annoying than I usually think of it, because it can kind of hit you when you're not paying attention. The noises are funny.
Yes.
But they can be tricky, and they can also hide in closets, all kinds of places where they just fly out at you and start spinning. And
you get a couple of them. They can be kind of annoying, but they're not like the deadly. Like when they hit you, they're not the hardest enemies. But they are annoying when they get into large groups. So
yes.
The haunted door. Now you're gonna run into the haunted door.
Oh, the haunted door. Now the haunted door is a real pain in the butt. Yeah. Again, it makes all kinds of weird sounds, and it attacks. It has usually a pretty good range with like the doorknob thing it sends flying out at you. So basically, you come to a haunted door, it'll come alive when you try to go in, and then it starts like moving like off the hinges and kind of chasing you around, and it can do a lot of damage. It's tough because it definitely has a range advantage, a reach advantage on you. Yes. So weapons are really helpful. If you can throw things at it, that's usually one of the easiest ways to take it down.
The doorknob has a pattern of 3. Yeah. So it'll boing, 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 then it'll stop, and then you got to try to hit it. But you got to be careful that you don't wait too long because it'll knock you over.
And if you get too close, it can like throw you up in the air and then hit you, and it does a good amount of damage on you. So
it does. You can kind of tell too; it'll turn red before it does it. So
I feel like usually the trickiest thing is you'll see them like right when you're getting ready to exit a room to go into the next room. A lot of cases.
Yes, that's generally when you're gonna. Fight it.
So the tricky thing there is you can sometimes be beat up from other challenges in there too. So you got to be like, oh crap, okay.
Yes.
So you got to be on your toes because you never quite know when one's gonna wake up and come at you.
That's right. Haunted painting. I would say the haunted painting's not too bad. You run into it a decent amount of times, but it doesn't do a ton of damage.
Right.
They're easy to block too. I feel like,
and all you have to do is kind of get a little combo on them, and they don't have too much health.
Exactly.
As long as you're paying attention enough and see them, and they're not catching you like from behind or from surprise, they're usually easy enough to deal with.
Correct. Yep. Haunted television. Obviously, you got that.
Just like the haunted chairs, these guys can be a pain. The good thing about them is usually when you see a TV, though, it's pretty obvious where like the haunted ones are, so you can throw something across the room at it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times do some damage. Some of the haunted TVs, though, like the tricky thing is if you get too close and trying to hit it, like it can shock you if you hit it the wrong time. And it can also like teleport like other enemies in.
Yes.
As well. Like it'll show an enemy on the screen, usually like an imp or something small, and then they can bring them in too. So it's always good to make sure that you kind of know their patterns and know when it's safe to hit them. Yeah. And if you can hit them from a distance, by all means do that.
and sometimes they help you when you need to kill a certain amount of enemies, it'll bring more into the fold. So that it's not often that happens, but a few times.
There's times where it can definitely help with certain challenges.
Exactly. So those are the haunted objects in the game. Next is the Hunchback.
Oh, I do love the Hunchback, even though he's a pain in the butt to fight sometimes. Because he can do a lot of damage. But he spends a lot of time trying to like hide his face from you.
Yes.
So he turns around, and the only way to deal damage to him is to hit him in the face. So sometimes it's a matter of trying to get the right angle on him to do it, to get some hits, and he has a lot of health.
He does.
So he takes a while to take down. And weapons sometimes are helpful, but a lot of times they aren't really as helpful as you think. Usually it's just your good old fists are your best way of taking them.
Yeah, just get in close and start nailing them. Yeah.
And then once you like hit him with a combo, you usually want to back up a little because he gets not so happy.
Correct.
And he'll turn red and like spin, and then he does like this flying thing with his arms that'll hit you that can do a lot of damage and send you flying.
Like Owen Hart in WWF Raw?
Yes. Send you flying out of the ring. I do like the Hunchback's personality. It's kind of funny, and he's always like kind of like gesturing at you to come after him. And then he tries to like kind of like duck away from you. So he can be tough and time consuming to fight.
Yes.
But he's got a heart of gold.
Then we have the regular imp, also known as Roger the Cabin Boy. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
But that's what it's saying. Yeah. The imps are, you do deal with them quite a bit, especially in the beginning.
Yes.
If they get around you in large numbers, they can be a little bit of a problem, but they're super easy to kill, and it doesn't take too long to get rid of them.
Right. So. Individually, they're pretty weak, and if you have like a nice weapon, like a chair or something that can sweep for a lot, you can take a bunch out at once. But they can certainly swarm you or just be annoying with other enemies that you're fighting that seem more pressing.
Yes.
So it's always good to be aware of where they are. They're usually not too bad. There's certain ones that can like jump on your head.
Oh, those guys are annoying. Yes, and then they can just keep taking life away from you, and you pretty much you got to get to the next area pretty quickly. So
for sure.
Jesse and Clyde, one of the I would say Jesse and Clyde's one of the most annoying enemies in the game.
Oh, yes.
That's the one that grabs you and like throws you a football field, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesse and Clyde, the ones that I always think of as like a Mr. Hyde kind of weird combo thing. Yes, those guys are real. They make the Hunchback look like a nice fella.
I'll take the Hunchback.
Because these guys will chase you around, they'll grab you, they'll send you flying, they do a lot of damage. And when you're trying to like get to an exit, a lot of times they can catch you and throw you all the way back, and it's frustrating because you can get right by that exit, but they catch you right before you go through.
Yeah. And there's a few levels too where they're gonna put like 4 or 5 out there. So they can be very annoying.
Yeah, and they're dancing around, jumping around, causing all these kinds of crazy stuff. So and they have a ton of health. They have like a full 100 health, so they take a lot of work to try to take out. So they are probably one of, if not the most frustrating random enemies you can run into. Because again, they take a lot and they do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And they have quite the reach.
It's tough to even destroy one.
Yeah.
So
it's tough to get close enough.
Then we got Medusas,
yes. I hated them at first, but over time I didn't mind them as much. they're kind of funny because they're looking around. You see like the kind of like beam of light coming out from their eyes, green on the floor, and basically if you don't get into that beam of light, they don't see you. If you do, then they freak out and you have to do like your little shocker.
Which is 4 button combinations, and it can be anywhere from like 3 different buttons to about 15 later in the game.
That you have to do and whatever the sequence they put on the screen is. If you mess it up, then you are in trouble. Yes. If you get it right, then you pass the challenge, and then you get control of your character again, and you're not taking like the extra damage that you would if you failed. And then basically you can either just kind of pass around them, or if you need to fight them, you just sneak up on them from behind, hit them with a combo, back off a little bit to let them kind of get back into their normal swing.
Yes.
Otherwise, they'll snap you back, like hit you with their tentacle head, and that can do a lot of damage too and send you flying.
Yeah, they can if you're not careful. But projectiles are very nice to use against them.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Throw some barrels at them.
There you go.
Go full Donkey Kong on them.
Then you got Ninja Imp, one of the other imps. The Ninja Imp can be pretty easy, but you got to watch out when they do the karate kick.
Yes. Hi-ya! Oh my gosh, and it sounds like you'll hear them just so much when they're around.
Hi-ya!
So it's kind of funny, but yes, again, just like with the flying imps, it's important to be aware of where they are, because they can come at you from a bunch of different angles. But they're not too bad. It's just that they tend to show up in big bunches. Yeah. And when they're in big bunches, that's where it's easy to get, clipped by ones here or there. So you gotta be aware, and you gotta keep moving.
Take them out quickly.
Yes. Give them a chair to the face.
There you go. Then you got your skeleton. I know you love the skeletons.
Oh my gosh, the skeletons are surprisingly annoying, because they wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the fact that they always stand around, get this little light bulb on their head, and then go just pull out some random weapon.
Yeah.
So they can grab any kind of weapons that they want, whether it be the stuff that we like to use, or just all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're throwing a barrel at you or hitting you with a chair, and you're just crap, because they get that long distance on you, that range advantage. So it's hard to get close enough to one when they're doing that, especially when there's a bunch of them around. And they like to do these little rabbit punch jab things too that are so frustrating. It's hard to stop them once they have a weapon to stop them from hitting you and getting some damage in. So yeah, they're tricky. They can't take a ton of damage, and it is very satisfying to beat them up because they're such of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But when you're in a boss fight or fighting other more difficult enemies and they show up with random weapons, you're just geez, okay. Here we go.
Yeah, they're in the beginning of the game, they almost seem super easy, but then as you go on, they seem tougher for whatever reason. Yeah. Because I think that you allow them to get the weapon, and
sorry about that.
And then they do more damage and whatnot. So yeah, they can be a little tricky.
You see a lot of them during the game. For sure.
Spider.
The spiders are funny because I feel like you see them here and there. You see them more towards the beginning of the game.
Yes.
They're easy once you realize their patterns.
Yes.
They don't do a lot of damage. They die pretty quickly. It's just, again, they kind of spin up and come at you.
Yeah.
So
when they throw the web, they just slow you down, so you're walking super slow, but you still have time to kind of dodge their attacks, and they don't do a lot. So spiders ain't too bad when you come into them. And obviously, you mentioned him before, the Reaper.
Yes, the Reaper, the ultimate baddie. He typically shows up most frequently when you fail a challenge. So at the beginning of each room, there's usually a challenge that comes up, and then you can look at it and tell you what it is. Some of them are only defeat ghoulies of this type. Some of them are, don't use any weapons, don't break anything in the room. If you decide, I'm going to do that anyways, or more likely accidentally do something against the challenge, then all of a sudden the challenge will kind of go away. You'll hear the gong sound of the Reaper showing up, and then he'll come up, usually from the exit for where you're trying to go. And he comes around, and he's got his big scythe. He's a big, scary-looking guy. And then he comes close, tries to touch you. So he sticks his little finger out at you, chasing you all around. And the longer he's around, the faster he gets. So And if he touches you, it's instant death.
Yes, yes.
The good thing about the Reaper is that sometimes he'll touch another ghoulie along the way instead of hitting you.
Yes.
Which will kill that ghoulie, and then give you a chance to keep escaping. He won't go away. He'll stay around, and he'll turn around and try to keep chasing you until he either catches you or you get through the stage. But there's not a ton you can do to stop him. There's certain soups that you can grab from soup well that are around. That can make him dizzy.
Dizzy Reaper for one, yep.
And give you some time more invisibility, or you can have temporary time to run around. But the only way that we could see that you could actually kill him is one way to get an achievement would to knock him out of a window.
Window, yes.
Which is takes a lot of stuff to go your way for it to work. Yes. Otherwise, you just got to get through that room and then hope you don't run into him again soon. But he's kind of a constant threat that could show up, especially if you mess up a challenge.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you have the gun. Sometimes you'll get the gun in certain levels. You can hit him, and it slows him down quite a bit. Yeah. But you don't. That's not a lot of times you're going to have that option. Right. So unfortunately, but
that's a very good point. I kind of forgot about that.
But honestly, that he's going to catch up to you. Unfortunately, unless you got a lot of enemies blocking him. Mm-hmm. So he's very annoying. You're going to probably run into him quite a few times. Yeah. So
it's hard not to get killed by him here and there. And when he kills you. After he hits you and you fall over, you turn gray and fall over, and then he plays his scythe like it's an electric guitar.
Yes.
Just to really rub it into you.
Yeah, exactly. He gets real excited.
He's a real
Bust
jerk
out a
about
solo. Then next we got the vampire.
The vampire is an interesting character. It's one that walks around in its coffin. That you can't do any damage to when she's in her coffin.
Yep.
And then when she's in certain areas, she'll pop out, and that's when you would have to hit her with something.
Yes.
Usually, we have the gun that can shoot out the egg or whatever. And that's usually your best way. She, if you get too close to her, she can pull you in, and basically it's instant death.
Instant death. Yeah. You didn't have a problem with her, I noticed.
I didn't, yeah.
I had problems with her the first few times I ran. I kept getting pulled in.
My biggest problem with her was, just her opening up so I could actually hit her with something.
Yes.
It was driving me nuts. She'd pop out for a second, and then, it wouldn't count the hit sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
She was a pain.
Definitely some frame rates going on. Yeah.
In some stages, it would just be annoying because you're is she the ghoulie I have to kill to get the key to get onto the next area? And she's what is going on? And then, you said, you get too close, she could pull you in, and she make you a vampire, and you dead.
Yeah, yeah. So she was tough. Vampire chicken.
Oh my gosh, the vampire chickens are kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
But also dangerous. They can do a lot of damage.
And this is another one you don't run into quite a bit.
No.
But
I feel it's when you're in the chicken coop, specifically that area, that inner building where you're trying to go through a bunch, and you have the egg gun. That's kind of what you can only use to really kill them, I think.
Yeah. There's a few missions where you have to go around quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And certain time to do it.
Yeah, they're vicious little guys.
They definitely can. They can do some damage if you're not careful. But you don't encounter them much.
Right.
Next is the Warlock.
The Warlock is another one who's funny.
Oh!
Again, he usually shows up when you open up something looking for an item, and then he, like you said, he goes, ho, ho, and then he teleports around. He shoots magic at you. You have to get close enough to him, and he has this annoying habit of waiting till you get close to him and then disappearing and showing up somewhere else. So you constantly are trying to get to him, but you're also trying to avoid these magical blasts he shoots at you.
Yes.
So he's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, he can be. You got to be patient with him.
Yes.
Just try to hide when he disappears because you don't know where he's going to be, and then he's going to whip the magic blast at you 3 times, I think it is. So he's got a very pattern. Again. Yes. Yeah. He'll give you a little pause to come run up to him and punch him, but...
And sometimes when he teleports, he'll show up in the exact same spot he was.
Yes.
If you're already there, you can be there ready to start smacking him.
Yes, which is really nice.
Yes.
Next is the worm.
Oh, I hated the worms because you can't really, you don't really kill them in the conventional sense.
Yes.
It's the big thing is when you hit them and you've done damage to them, all of a sudden they go in this countdown thing. And you can see the number above their head. And if they're once that goes to 0, they explode. And if you're close enough to them, they'll do a good amount of damage to you. So you need to like keep them away from you, and you have to kind of keep knocking them back, because you want them to explode when they're not next to you.
Yes.
So that you can take a bunch of damage and cause all kinds of issues. So
yeah,
I was not a fan of the works.
It's like the hot potato. Once you hit them, they're just trying to explode by you. So you want to keep them away as far as possible. You will run into them a decent amount in the game too. So unfortunately,
definitely.
But next is the zombie.
Oh, the zombie. Again, I feel like the zombie and the skeleton are kind of similar in the regards that you face them pretty early on and you think, oh, they're not too bad. But the zombies have so many hit points. They have so much health.
They do.
And they have like this wind-up attack that they love to do with their arm.
Yes.
And it's really hard to not get hit by because, again, it has a long reach.
Yes.
And it's tough. And usually it's rare that you just get one zombie. Usually there's multiples, or there's multiples of them and skeletons.
Yes.
And you're like,
the ballroom. Yes. The ballroom.
The ballroom, yes. It's a swinging joint.
Well, they like to fart.
Yes, they do.
And once they do hit you with a punch when they're swinging, they lose their arm.
Yes.
So you can pick up their arm and use it as a weapon against them. So
which is kind of funny.
That's kind of nice, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just take a while to kill because there's a lot of health.
There is a lot. Yeah. Zombie pirates.
The zombie pirates are actually pretty funny. They have their giant swords. They're big like
pieces of eights.
Yeah, so they say pieces of eights,
and
they throw a big chest sometimes of a treasure chest that can do a lot of damage to you or to the other monsters, which is nice.
Yes.
But yeah, they can hit pretty hard, but they're also just funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they move around a lot. They talk a lot, and a lot of times they'll do like this thing with their cutlass where they do this kind of like lunging thing where they go across, and if you can almost like line them up, sometimes you can have them take out a bunch of other enemies. Yes.
It actually does a decent amount of damage if you do get hit by it, so you want to watch out for that. But it is nice when they take out your enemies.
Yeah, they do have a lot of health, but they're easy enough to combo, but again, you just got to be really careful not to get on the wrong side of their sword.
The only times that you really encounter them are in the big dining room and then the freezer. I notice a lot.
Area,
they're in there a lot. And then Zombie Pirate Captain, which I don't even know if he has an attack. He always seems to run away from you, but
he's kind of funny.
Yeah, but you only encounter him, I think, once, twice, maybe.
Once or twice. Yeah. Like, I remember him being in the dining room, like behind everything.
Yes.
And he's just kind of hanging out. I feel like, I don't feel like he doesn't really do anything all that crazy, but he kind of alerts everybody else to your presence when you're in the dining room. So it's one of those things where he's just hanging out, wearing a fancy hat, having a good time.
That's right. Just enjoying the show, enjoying the party,
Exactly. He's a good guy.
And then these we don't really have to go into much, but they are the scare ghoulies that try to scare you, and you have to do the button combination to get out of it. Like I said, it could be 3 buttons all the way to 15 towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But you have the blob, the grasping hand, Mingella, the guard dog, stuffed heads, and then the tentacle terror.
Yes.
So,
they pop up. You got to hit those button combinations. Otherwise, if you fail, then you're put in a bad spot.
Yes. We should also mention, too, that you're going to run into ghosts throughout there.
Yes.
And what they do is they try to scare you a little bit because they kind of appear out of nowhere. But, once you see them, you kind of want to run away because they have, this ranged red attack.
Yes.
And if you get hit by it, you're basically in scared mode, and you start shivering and walking kind of slow, and you can't defend yourself.
Right.
So you're susceptible to enemy hits. So
it makes you very vulnerable, and you don't want that. So as soon as you see them, they tend to pop up, and you usually have time to react.
Yes.
If there's enemies around, that can make it tricky. That can kind of pen you in, but you've got to really run out of there, get out of there before it hits, because like you said, you were saying, it makes you a sitting duck in a lot of ways.
Exactly. So you don't want to be in there too long, or, you want to get out of there as soon as you see them. All right. So that is the enemies of the game. There's quite a few of them. They're all kind of, I think they all kind of sum up the Ghoulies, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
the Ghoulies come in many sizes and shapes and all that.
Yes. So let's go through, we're not going to go through every single room, obviously, but let's go through the different types of challenges that you're going to face in the rooms.
Yeah.
There's the one breed challenge where Cooper must defeat all Ghoulies of a specific type. The icon depicts the Ghoulie that must be defeated. So,
yes.
Yep.
So we got to make sure you kill the right ones. If you kill the wrong one, the Reaper's coming to town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to have 2, 3. So then you can't sometimes kill the same one. So you got to go to a different Ghoulie. So that makes it interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Yep. Then there is the defeat all challenge where Cooper must defeat every Ghoulie regardless of type.
Yep.
So you just got to clear out the room. Pretty simple.
Yeah, that one's kind of one of your more straightforward ones.
Exactly. And then there's find the key, where the key can be, in a like a barrel, can be in a vase. Could be anywhere in the room. So Cooper must find the key by breaking an object of which it is hidden in.
Yeah, so you're smashing up the room, finding anything that's breakable, and hoping you find that key.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Then there's find the Ghoulie key, which the key is located in an enemy.
Yes.
So then you need to defeat that enemy to get that key, and you don't know which one it's going to be.
Right. So you're kind of clearing house and hoping you stumble on it early. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you kill everybody and you finally get it on the last Ghoulie.
That's right. Cooper must defeat the Ghoulie who has the key.
Yeah, that son of a gun.
Then there's no weapons. Cooper is prohibited from using any weapons during the challenge, which sometimes can be tough. Sometimes
So basically means you're using your fists.
That's right.
Nothing else.
That's right. Weapons only. Cooper can only use weapons during the challenge. So there's that. So they do both sides of the coin.
And that one can often be trickier because sometimes you're trying to find your weapons and making sure you're not wasting your swings because you only got so many you can use. You can't just pull them out of thin air. You got to find them in the stage.
Yeah, I mean that there's not always a ton in, so you got to be resourceful on that.
Right, for sure.
Then there's the don't get hit. Cooper must do the challenge without taking any hits, or else the Reaper shows up. So then once the Reaper shows up, then you can start hitting, or then you can take some hits. But you got to try to clear them out,
Yeah, and that one can be tough, especially when stages where there's a lot of enemies and a lot of just stuff along the way. It's sometimes very hard not to get clipped even accidentally,
Yes, exactly. Then next, one different, which means Cooper must not defeat the same type of Ghoulie in succession. We kind of talked about that earlier.
It'll show you the portrait with the X over which one you cannot currently kill.
Correct.
And once you kill a different one, then that other one will be freed up again.
Exactly. Yep. So you can kind of go back to the original one you were doing. Then there's the number. Cooper must defeat a specific number of specific Ghoulie.
Yeah.
Pretty self-explanatory. Then there's the number any breed. Cooper must defeat a specific number of Ghoulies regardless of type.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's the don't defeat challenge. Cooper must avoid defeating the type of Ghoulie depicted in the icon.
Yeah.
So usually there'll be multiple enemies in those rooms that you can kind of have an option. Usually you want to try to get on the harder one, not the easier one. So you know, like an imp versus a zombie or mummy,
or a mummy.
Those ones stink. Then there's don't defeat any. Cooper must not defeat any Ghoulies. So
that one's rarer, I feel like.
It is rare. You don't see it often. So
but it's annoying.
It does happen.
Because your instincts kick in and your reflexes just want you to smash everything.
That's right.
Sometimes you gotta be like, okay, nope, can't do it.
Next one is limited attacks. Cooper can only use up to a certain number of attacks. That one can be tough.
Yeah.
You got to be very resourceful there, especially on certain challenges. Then there's no damage, which means Cooper must avoid damaging any of the room's contents. So you can't break any vases or barrels or anything in the room. You can't break it. So you got to be careful.
Which is a lot harder than it sounds in a lot of stages.
And then that's when the Reaper comes out if you do.
Yes.
So then you can start breaking things, but you also got to try to avoid the Reaper while you're doing it.
Which again, easier said than done.
Yes, exactly. Then there's survive, which means Cooper must survive within the designated amount of time, usually from several enemies.
Yeah, that one's I feel like isn't usually as bad, but there are exceptions, of course.
Correct. I remember a few of them weren't too bad. I think a lot of them had the robot or the vampire chickens in there. So
it's more of just like kind of waiting out the clock.
Yep, exactly. And then time limit. Cooper must complete the challenge within a given time limit, and then if you don't, then the Reaper comes out. And
right.
So I just want to say too with these challenges that there could be like 2 or 3 of these in one. It's
room, not uncommon, especially the further you get into the game, the more like combinations they'll throw. So
yes.
A lot of things you have to kind of keep in mind as you're going, and it's easy to not know just seeing the icons. So you can always pause it and like check. There's a little thing to check your current challenges that you can always do, and it's a helpful thing to do as you're going through, because there's nothing more frustrating than starting and realizing that I thought a challenge was one thing, and then realize I did the exact opposite, and here comes the Reaper now.
Here comes. Oh,
you're like, crud.
Oh, great! I'm dead. Restart. All right, so let's start the main storyline. Then there's 5 chapters. Let's talk about chapter 1, which is called The Rescue. I guess instead of going through like every single room in chapter 1, there's 12, by the way.
Yes.
Are there any of these that kind of stick out to you that you kind of want to mention?
I would say I liked the gaming room. I liked kind of the big area with a lot more area to work with. Running around, I liked some of the different things that you had. I believe it's one of the rooms that has, again, like the couches and stuff that you can a couch that you can swing around. It has like all the billiard things, and it's fun picking that up. The only thing that's annoying too is that everyone can have a lot of skeletons in it, and they like to use those billiard cues too, the pool sticks to knock you around.
Yes,
that stage I liked though because it was bigger and had a lot of items in it, so you could do a lot of fun stuff in there. That was one that jumped out at me.
And this is the one, chapter 1 is the start where Amber gets kidnapped by the Baron.
Yes, like right at the beginning.
Yep.
And so you're following because you are Cooper.
Yes.
And trying to save your main squeeze.
Yes.
Your best gal. All that.
They seem to have a lot of arguments. I don't think they're going to be lasting too long.
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know what's going on there. But she's. She gives him a lot of business, and he is just kind of like, oh, okay. Those crazy kids. I don't remember any of the stages as like jumping out at me besides like the game room at first thought.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about the rooms is they all feel like nicely connected. The cinema was cool.
Cinema's really cool. That's the first time that
the
big projector playing the skeleton movie, and then you run into the haunted television for the first time.
So
yeah, I really like the cinema. The billiards room was cool.
Yeah.
And then the cellar, which is the last level. And you see the haunted door for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I could say the relic store can be kind of confusing because of how dark it is, and it's pretty big.
Right.
So, but I think chapter 1, pretty nice introduction to the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty short. So chapter 1, I don't think anybody should really have too big of an issue with.
Yeah, it goes at a nice pace too.
Yes. Chapter 2, the restoration. Anything about chapter 2? Now this is where the game kind of starts the chapters get a lot longer.
Right. And this is the one where you're trying to restore Amber to her normal habitus.
Yes, after Dr. Crackpot turns her into like a troll, kind of ogre looking. And,
so now you're trying to figure out how do we get her back to
You're
normal.
getting you have to go to the 3 ingredients throughout the mansion. And they're all in different areas of the mansion.
Right.
But obviously the game's linear, so you just keep following the path.
Yeah,
it's not like you have
helpful.
to go anywhere, really.
Right, it takes you from room to room. Like, as you finish a room, it takes you where you need to go. There's not like, okay, where do I go? Where do I go now? It's like you don't have to worry about that. It's just each room, it's kind of like take it as it comes.
Yes. This has the famous embassy ballroom scene where the mummies the skeletons and zombies are dancing.
Yes, I believe a mummy is playing.
The mummy is the DJ.
Yes, and it's a good time. You have to go in there and basically just like start beating everybody up, which is, you almost feel bad doing it because they're just having a great time.
They're listening to the dance version of Grabbed by the Ghoulies theme song. So
and Ghoulies got to dance too.
That's right.
So you have to go go in there and it's a crazy fight because there's so many enemies in there, and it's a tough one, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's probably one of the levels that really like starts kind of getting tougher, and it's going to take you a bit to.
And again, I kind of root for the Ghoulies in this case.
They're just having a fun
trying to
time.
live their best, life or undeath or whatever. And we're just coming in there, just start wrecking up the place and beating them up over the head with pool cubes. It's just being a bad guest.
That's right.
But anyways, yeah, that's a cool one though.
I do enjoy that one.
Yeah. I feel like it's in this chapter too that you meet a lot of like some of the extra like side characters.
You do.
You meet like the housekeeper, you meet the groundskeeper, you meet
Babs and Dunfiddlin.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to remember the word. Yeah, Fiddlesworth, which is just a fun name.
Fiddlesworth, Dunfiddlin.
Yeah, you hear a lot from our good friend Ma Soupwell, all that good stuff. Because I believe it's kind of Ma Soupwell's kind of idea to go find like some of this stuff to help out Amber. If I'm correct.
I mean, Fiddlesworth, Dunfiddlin, he's got a crush on Babs, I believe.
I think you're right.
He talks about that.
Yes, and maybe someday they'll connect and they'll have.
Why?
And they'll have a good time, and they'll get married, have some children, and it'll all be a beautiful sequel that we.
I hope I get invited to the wedding. That's all I got to say.
I know, right? That's going to be quite the dance party.
Some other levels that stick out are the boathouse, because that's the first time you meet the Hunchback.
Yes.
First time that you meet the Medusa is the Lighthouse Store. There's quite a bit in chapter 2, and you got to do the Embassy Ballroom twice.
Yeah.
It's tough both times, I would say. Any other ones that kind of... Oh, you get the freezer level.
Oh, yes. I remember the garbage yard.
There's
a lot of stuff to pick up, a lot of crazy stuff. The chicken shed, of course.
Oh, chicken shed, yeah. That's a fun one. Farmyard.
Yes.
That's a big one. Workshops where you get all the mummies and...
Oh, yeah, that one is a rough one.
Pantry. There's some really tough ones in here.
It's a long chapter, too. I remember
is.
there being a ton of rooms in it. I just kind of kept going. You're like, you think you're getting close to it.
Yeah, music room. That one is very tough.
Yeah.
I do not like that one. The music room number 2 is where it gets, for me, gets pretty tough.
Yeah.
So...
for sure.
And then, you get the boss fight against Amber, Ghoulie Amber. She is very tough.
Yes, she's a pain.
Super fast. She hits you.
You kind of have to use weapons.
Yeah.
And you really have to kind of time it really well.
Yeah.
Because you miss it, or you go a little bit too early or a little bit too late, and she'll just smash you in the face and do a ton of damage.
Yes. Ridiculous amounts, actually.
Yeah.
How many times did it take us? It took us a while to beat her.
Oh my gosh. And then there's like a challenge that you can do at the end too, and it's just like you have not a lot of health, and trying to fight her
that's rough.
You don't have really any room for mistakes.
No. So. Yeah, the second time you go through, which we'll get into. That's tough. Chapter 3, the riddle, very similar to chapter 2.
Yes.
You have to go around the mansion and get the 3 pieces of the riddle, so that way you can, I believe it's to
actually.
You get the soup from Soupwell. You get the ingredients.
Yes.
Amber's cured, but in order to get. She gets kidnapped again, I believe.
I'm trying to remember exactly,
And you need the riddle to understand how to get back to her, I believe.
I'm trying to remember, specifically how it works, what the timing of it is.
Yeah.
What you're talking about. I'm just trying to remember. She's a kind of a tricky character to root for sometimes, because she can be a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
But yes. So it's like you find her, then she gets all ghoulified. You go get the ingredients, and then you have to fight. Yeah, you fight her, and then I'm trying to remember exactly what happens? Do you need, like, the stuff to make sure that the right potion is used? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was by Crivens, and he said he has the riddle. It was, I believe. Let me see. Maybe I can get down. Maybe we can get down to the. Maybe we can get down to, you play these games. It's hard to remember everything, but
So they're getting ready, like, to leave. Oh, they need, because they want to get the, okay, so the riddles are so they can get to the Baron, because they need to get to the Baron to free all the, free all of the different, the unfortunate victims.
Yes.
That's what it is. So at this point, Amber's back to normal, and you're going in here trying to get the riddles so that you can actually get to the Baron, which Crivens tells you that you need to get these to get to him.
That's right.
To get to the Baron. Okay, so that's what it is. I'm
right. Thank you.
So we played through this a long time.
Yes.
But we were a little fuzzy on that detail a little bit. But
sure.
We got it now.
And so chapter 2, there's 40 rooms. So a lot more than 12, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
chapter 3 has 34 rooms. This is where you get Crackpot's lab. So I think we should talk about Crackpot's lab. We should talk about his demise.
Yes.
So he's
a funny one. My gosh. You think you're getting ready for this big boss battle with him.
Yes.
That's kind of what I assumed it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And not quite. Do you remember what happens?
I do. His new machine malfunctions. Yeah. And I believe Cooper, presses a button and it just destroys the whole thing. Yeah. He's kind of embarrassed and he's basically no more. Yeah, you don't see him again. So
right.
So he's done. This is where there's a lot of interesting levels in chapter 3. I mean, you get the farmyard. Yeah, the greenhouse.
You're revisiting some of them, but you're getting some new ones too.
Yep, you run into the vampire for the first time, and Jesse and Clyde.
Yes.
There's quite a bit in chapter 3. Probably not as long as chapter 2, but I would think it's a little tougher. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, you're getting further in the game, so you're getting more.
You get the experiments chamber. That could be tough. And then the grand hallway. There's no boss fight, though, so that's good. You thought Crackpot was going to be the boss, but you never fight him, which is kind of disappointing.
I know. I was kind of getting ready for that.
You kind of want a boss fight against him, but you do get a haunted door.
Take him down a notch.
That's right. So then, so that's it.
So you get all the riddles, and you're ready to
go to the Baron.
And take him down.
And chapter 4 is the boss battle against the Baron.
Right. It's not like it's basically just that, which is kind of surprising with the way the other chapters were, formulated structure. You're not expecting to just be right there, but you're there, and he's there and he's ready to fight, and he is the boss battle of the game.
Yeah, he is, and he starts off with a pattern.
Yes.
That it takes a little bit to get used to him.
Yeah, to kind of figure that out a little bit.
Yeah, once he starts flashing red, you can't attack him.
Right.
So, but then he starts getting into that airplane he makes, and then he sends a ghoul.
Yes.
And you defeat the ghoul, then he sends a skeleton. You defeat the skeleton, and then then he sends a zombie. You defeat the zombie. Then he sends the worms out. You defeat the worms.
Yes.
Then he sends the zombie pirates out. You defeat those, and then meanwhile you're still trying to hit him.
Yes.
So I would say during the regular playthrough, he's not as hard.
Oh yeah.
But we'll get into the bonus challenges.
Yes,
then
and that makes him a
lot tougher.
A lot less room for error.
Oh, that's probably why it took us so long to get to this retro review.
Yes, absolutely.
So
a lot of tries and a lot of failures and a lot of tries again.
Yes. So then chapter 5 is the race, and now this is where you're gonna go and you're gonna go rescue the kids that he's taken.
Yeah, throughout the game, when you're going through, you'll see random kids that are locked up in certain areas. And you can't do anything about it initially because you don't have the key to save them. Mm-hmm. So you'll see them and you'll be like, what the heck do we do? But it's at this point now that you're running through trying to save as many of them as you can in a certain time frame. So you're running through trying to get as many as possible. And it's tough because you don't really know.
You got, 12 minutes to do it?
12 minutes,
yeah.
You're running through, you're following Mr. Ribs, everybody's favorite little sous chef there. And following him and trying to get through. So you're going through rooms that you've already been through. You're following him. You kind of keep going wherever. Again, it's still linear. You're not still having to worry about branching off anywhere. But you're having to get through rooms and help these people out. And it's tough because, again, time constraints, enemies, all this stuff is still very much there. You may have taken out the Baron, but his ghoulies are still there trying to grab you.
Yes. And then I should mention there is 100 rare books.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And we forgot to mention that. They're kind of like hidden collectibles in every room. There's one rare book. Most of them are just within the room itself. Right. However, there are a few where you do have to destroy a monster or one of the ghoulies and they come out. So there's some other ways. There's 100 in total. But the cool thing is, if you miss one, you can always go back and replay that level to just try to find the rare book. So,
and it gets, as you can attest, it gets us in the habit of just bashing everything in every room when we have that option.
Yes.
To try to get the rare book to pop out. And sometimes it's just sitting like somewhere in plain view, but you just completely miss it because you're so focused on trying to break down stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's right here. Okay.
Yes.
So it's interesting to see some of the unique places they hide them, and some places where you're like, oh, how did I not see this like immediately?
Yes.
But it's a fun challenge and it unlocks extra bonus challenges that you can do at any time as well when you get certain amounts of books. So it's a fun, cool thing to get. Plus, achievements, those are always fun.
Absolutely. I love the achievements.
Yes.
Get your gamer score up, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, chapter 5, The Race. This is the 5th and final chapter. In it, Cooper and Mr. Ribs have 13 minutes, actually, to rescue the 10 prisoners before Ghoulhaven Hall's doors are permanently locked, meaning that the prisoners would be permanently trapped in the mansion.
Which is a bummer.
Right. If Cooper succeeds in freeing every prisoner on time, he and Mr. Ribs leave Ghoulhaven Hall and go to the front gate, where they are confronted by imps. Cooper is knocked unconscious, and Mr. Ribs is decapitated. But
he is a skeleton. So
that's right.
It's not as horrific. It's still not great.
It's still not great, right?
It's less horrific than it sounds.
That's right. Cooper is knocked unconscious, and Mr. Ribs is decapitated. But before the imps can feast on them, Marsupilami arrives and fights back the imps. Cooper regains consciousness and is thanked for his efforts by Marsupilami and the rest of Ghoulhaven's Hall staff. Cooper and Amber then walk off to a nearby village, unaware that Baron Von Ghoul is following behind them in his makeshift plane. Yes. If Cooper does not save all the children in time, the scene in which Marsupilami defends Cooper and Mr. Ribs from the imps is omitted. So either way, you kind of beat the game. But keep in mind, you only get one turn to do this. Right. So you can't just go back and redo it.
Right.
You can replay it, but it's not part of your main storyline. So Yep.
The fun thing too is you get to, if you do it, you get to control Marsupilami at the end while you're saving Cooper. She's got this gigantic wooden spoon that she uses just to beat up all the imps that are trying. And it's just
you get like 150 imps, and you can just go to town.
And she just it's actually pretty fun to do. So.
Yes.
It's like Marsupilami to the rescue. Yes. She's the real hero, if you ask me.
I mean, it was supposed to be a sequel, obviously, with the ending of this. So, spoiler alert. But if you're listening to this podcast, we always talk spoilers. So,
brother.
That's right. So,
there was originally they had plans to do one. It's just sad that it never happened. But apparently there was rumor that Crivens was going to come back in the next one as his own, as an actual person, saying that the fake Crivens wasn't actually the Crivens.
Oh,
that's what I had seen in here, which is very interesting.
That would have been
Crivens was my favorite.
Yeah.
And when I found out the spoiler alerts, that he was not who he appeared to be, I was very sad.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, But yeah, he was gonna apparently had run off, and that was a different Crivens that turned out to be an imposter.
Oh, that would have been great to have a grab by the Ghoulies too. I heard there was even references to it in like Banjo and Tooie even. So they were definitely planning on it. Yeah. It just never came.
What are you guys doing?
Come on, we can get the old gang back together and make this game. I don't care. So we should go over real quick the bonus challenges. Now this is kind of part of the story too, because it kind of connects. Like the Ghoul does lay 21 different challenges for you. Now these challenges are pretty tough.
Yes.
They go up in level. If you want to try to get platinum on them all, you're going to be playing some of these a few times.
Yes, which we did.
Yes.
Quite a bit.
And then once you defeat all 20 with platinum, then you get the 21st one, which is called Play It Again, Son.
Yes.
And this is where you have to go and do the game all over, but you play as Amber.
Yes.
And you only get 10 health.
Yes, on each stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that's funny is that you're going through it, so you know it better. It's still linear. It's helpful. It takes out a lot of like the crazy like story aspects of things. Like you still go through it, you still see stuff, but it's not quite. So it goes a lot faster, for sure, than it did going through as Cooper. Plus, you've already gone through it, so you know what you're doing. But it's tougher because of the lack of health. So you're playing as Amber, her regular version, not her fun green troll version.
Yes.
But you do have to fight her as you have to fight her troll version as regular Amber, which is a little weird. But yeah, it's tough for sure. It's a tough journey, but it is very fun. And when you can finish it, you give yourself a pat on the back. But there are some definite challenges that take a lot of attempts because again, 10 health, not
10
dead.
health. Yeah, especially when you can't use the Ma Soup Well soup.
Yep, and there's no soups.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
And that's really hard. But you got to be careful because a lot of those levels that were hard even the first playthrough are just that much tougher. But once you finally do it, it's like, oh, all right, I beat this game. Yeah,
for sure. Fighting the Baron, he's a rough one, especially because he has so much health in so many different stages, and when you only have 10 health, you have very little room for error.
Yes.
But again, it makes it feel like that much more of an accomplishment when you do take that dastardly Baron down.
Yes, I think like the first playthrough's not super long. You can really cruise through it, but then when you do all the bonus challenges to get the achievements and whatnot, and the final story, that's where the game really takes a long time to beat, I think. So
yeah, you get a lot out of this game, and if you got like the rare replay and you have all of those other games, I mean, you really get a lot of value out of that. And just playing this, like if we had paid full price just for this game, I would say we got our value out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's worth it. Yeah, like definitely worth it.
We're not getting paid by Rare, but I would strongly suggest to anybody out there that if they like any of those games, get the Rare replay. It's a great deal, and you get a lot of cool games that you may never even have heard of.
Yes,
me, I've never heard of Grab by the Ghoulies before.
Yeah,
and
it's a hidden gem. I tell you that much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I recommend this game. So. It was a lot of fun to play, and I don't think I ever really got bored at any time. Yeah, sure, some of the rooms were similar, some of the challenges, but it was never to the point where I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Right.
It was always, I want to see what happens and
see what happens next, and just the challenges. And plus, even if you get in a stage that was rough, sometimes it's just fun to beat up some ghoulies with, a push broom or whatever.
That's right. All right, should we get into our category breakdown?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go music.
Music. I really enjoyed the music of this game. They really did a good job. A lot of different kind of scene-setting songs. Even the theme song is so simple in design. The Grab by the Ghoulies. I don't know, it's just catchy and fun and really fit the character of the game and the whole feel of it. So even though, besides the Grab by the Ghoulies song, I don't really have a ton of ones that I could say off the top of my head. I really thought the music was good all the way through.
Yeah.
Very spooky at the right times.
Yes.
So I'm going to give it a 8. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The music is great. You know, it never like steals focus from what's going on. It always just enhances it. So I don't have too much to say other than it's good. I like it. Would listen to.
Yeah, and obviously you can include like the sound too with the music, but I would say I think I'm right there with you. 8 out of 10. Yeah. Super catchy. You know, Rare does a great job with their background soundtracks and you know, music in the game.
Really pulls you in.
It's a really it sets the mood. It's kind of like that Scooby-Doo kind of vibe to it. So it's really fun. So I got to give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah. Let's go with graphics.
Graphics I like. I'm not sure if it's because this version is remastered more so that it looks a little bit more polished than the old, or if the old one looks like this too, but for the remastered one, I have to say I really like the graphics. I like kind of the older style to it, where it's like 3D, but it doesn't look like super blocky.
Right.
Which is nice too. So yeah, I really like the graphics. They're colorful. They're bright and just like kind of the right way where it doesn't take away from it. You still get like a creepy feel, but then the colors kind of make it feel a little bit like cartoony in a good way, though.
In a good way.
Yeah, where again, it's a game that's not taking itself too seriously and having fun with it.
Yes.
So it gives you kind of that old, almost like 90s.
I was going to say, it's very 90s.
Yeah, kind of like mad scientist-y kind of fun.
Like Goosebumps kind of logo.
Kind of like that Goosebumps when you think of the logo coming down and that kind of stuff. So I really like the graphics. I'm going to give it an 8 as well.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna join you right again. 8 out of 10. I mean, I don't think it's like mind blowing graphics, but they get the job done.
Yeah.
And I think the original version had maybe a little less like smoothness.
Sure.
I think this just kind of smoothed it out.
Yeah.
But like honestly, if we're thinking about it, this would be the ultimate way they wanted to present it.
Right. And,
and
maybe the technology just wasn't quite there yet.
So 8 out of 10. I think it's visually great looking game. So
absolutely,
level design, the
rooms themselves are really cool and really nice, and everything really pulls you in, and the characters are as well, and it just has a very unique, like, distinct style to it that I think I like.
Difficulty.
This is an interesting one because it's a game where there's a lot of try again. It's not a game that I feel like is ever unfair.
Right.
It's like you know what you need to do straight up, and you know what your puzzle that you have to solve is. And the fact that you have unlimited lives, that it saves after every room, you can go back to rooms, I think helps a lot.
That
being said, each room, there is definitely rooms that are very tough and that take a lot of attempts, but it's a good feeling of accomplishment. So I'm going to say that the difficulty, I'm going to give it I feel weird saying it. I'm going to give it an 8.
8 out of 10?
It's hard.
Yes.
I think it's never unfair, and I think you always have the incentive to keep trying. I think it's a good game. I think it's difficult, but in a way that's done well, where you can keep at it, and you never feel like, okay, I just need to stop. I'm just getting upset. I would get, like, more annoyed, but not like annoyed at the game where I ever felt frustrated, if that makes sense. More of annoyed at like, oh, I was so close.
Let's try this. There was maybe something I'm not doing correctly or something.
Right.
I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's a pretty challenging game in spurts.
Yeah.
But especially trying to find like all the rare books can be, that can be an issue sometimes. Sometimes I had to look up at the guide to not know where it is because I just kind of frustrated, especially the ones that are challenges. They can.
Some,
but a lot of times, like, you can find them relatively easy.
Right. Sometimes just incidentally just walking around the room.
Exactly. And then I got to give it, I got to push it up a little bit for the bonus challenges because those are tough.
Yeah.
And especially the second playthrough with Amber.
Yes.
That can be a little frustrating, but
the good thing about that is that you have, like, you've built up the skills going through the first time, so you're a little more prepped for it, but that doesn't mean that there's some challenges that don't take like an hour plus to get through.
Oh, sure, just to get through.
Yeah.
So, 7.5 on the difficulty. Let's go replayability.
That's an interesting one because I do feel like you could get a lot of fun replaying it.
Yeah. Speed runs for sure.
Speed runs, I can see this being a very fun speed run game. Mm-hmm. It's a game that I would have fun playing with, like, somebody who hadn't played it before, and playing it with them now that I've played it, kind of like helping them through it, I think would be a lot of fun. I don't think that I will replay it anytime soon, but I certainly could see myself picking it up 5-10 years down the line and wanting to play through it again.
Yeah.
So I would give it a 7 for replayability. I think there's a lot that's fun to do. I think just going around and again beating up ghoulies with stuff is not going to get old. So I would say a 7. I think it's a game that I'll definitely play again at some point. There's a lot there and a lot of fun humor, and I don't feel like it's a game that's too over the top or too mature for kids either. So it's a game that I could see playing with my kids sometime, when they're a little bit older. Oh, yeah. And I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think it's a perfect, you want a Halloween game or something around with the kids. This is a perfect way to get into it. And it's not too scary for them.
Yeah, it's not
but it's got that, mysterious,
And it's got that kind of goofy humor to it that, again, doesn't take itself too seriously. So I don't think a kid is going to get too spooked by it either.
Exactly. I mean, I do. I actually just love games like this, period.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's a game that you never grow out, get too old for. You know what I mean? You don't grow out of it. It's not like a game that feels like when it's corny in a way that's enjoyable still.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 7 out of 10 for replayability. Okay. I'm kind of right there with you. I kind of feel like I got most of what I wanted in this one playthrough.
Yeah.
But I would say you could do a speed run, obviously.
Sure.
And 3, I think, maybe avoid the Reaper at all costs. That would be interesting. I don't know if it's possible to do that, but I think I don't know. Maybe you would have to get the Reaper at some point, but that would be a cool challenge to do.
Right, minimize that.
Yes, so, but yeah, 7 out of 10. Probably play it in, maybe 10 years, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
And again, a fun thing to play, with the kids or something, too.
Yes, exactly.
It's a one-player game, but you could always be there helping them and, playing
to rotate the controller for each room.
You find your ways
something like that. Fun level.
Fun, very fun.
Yeah.
I have to say, I was very surprised in a very good way by this game. Honestly, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed it a lot. I never felt like I was bored. I felt like there was always enough interesting ways to approach things, and you're always kind of thinking of different ways to do it. So there's different challenges. You try different things, try different weapons, try a different order of doing things. I don't know. I feel like it's a game that engages you not just in button mashing kind of games, but also makes you think.
Yes.
And in a fun way. Yes. I felt like every room is a puzzle to kind of figure out in your own way, even if it just means I'm bashing this guy first and then going to get the other guy. Yeah. And looking for books. So I really liked it a lot. I would say 8.5.
All right. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Okay.
The only reason I docked it down 0.5 was just some repetitiveness. Sure. However, that doesn't really take away a lot of the fun because they mix up the challenges. But I think honestly, the only thing I could say that wouldn't make it fun is probably the way the pacing sometimes can be a little chapter 2, for instance, 40 rooms versus
much
chapter
longer.
1, and I wish there was a little more consistency
and then chapter
there.
4 being one thing.
Yes, exactly. 12 rooms and that's it. So
I totally see what you mean. Yeah.
And the chapters are all very different. I mean, we could have used maybe shorter chapters, but more chapters, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That could have been something, but honestly, the game is a blast.
Yeah,
I had fun.
Yeah. My only complaints
minor details.
My only other complaints can be sometimes the controls are tricky to do what you want. There's certain weapons
because it's all on your right thumbstick direction wise,
and there's certain weapons that you can either swing them or shoot them.
Yes,
and sometimes it's hard to consistently get it to do exactly what you want.
Correct.
And that can get you in trouble sometimes.
Yep.
There's
a practice on that.
Yes.
You definitely have to master it before you really get the hang of it.
Right. That's one of my complaints about it. But again, it was never anything that made me feel like I couldn't get past something. Mm-hmm. It just sometimes meant that what I was trying to do in the moment didn't do what I wanted to, and then I was like, crap. But then you just start it again, go through it again, and take care of it. So I can't really say it never took away my enjoyment from it. Sometimes it was just more of a momentary kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Very cool. All right, and then overall score.
Overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, which again is much higher than I would have expected. A game that I'd never heard of, that I'd never played before, to really enjoy to this extent. But I have to say, I really did.
It was
a great pick by you to add to our wheel to decide which one we were going to get next.
Yes.
Just an absolute blast. Again, it's a game that I think things that hampered a little bit are a little bit of control issues here and there. The replayability is there, but it's not like a game that you're going to come back and just pick up and just play mindlessly. It's like a game that you're going to be like, okay, I'm feeling the itch again. Now I'm going to play through the whole thing again.
Yes.
It's not like a sports game where you can just pick it up and play really quickly or things like that. I think it's got a lot. I'm sad that we never got a sequel.
I know.
I'm sad that it doesn't sound like we're ever going to get a sequel. But
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a lot more there that they could have done with in the future. It's just a shame that a lot of people didn't realize it and didn't give it a chance that it was around. But yeah, I really like it a lot.
And
how about you?
I think I got to go right there with you. I think it's a perfect 8 out of 10 game. Yeah. I really do. I think it's super underrated. Not a lot of people know about it. I'm glad that Rare Replay kind of brought it back out to the forefront.
Absolutely.
Glad they put it on the compilation. It was a fun game. Both my kids like it.
Yeah.
So there's something for that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I don't know how much further they're going to get when it gets tougher, but they do like it, and I think that's
knows?
for something.
And who knows? Maybe down the line when they're older, they'll come back to it too and want to play it again.
And
then
try
go
to beat
through
it
all the
like
way
we did with Donkey Kong. So
exactly.
I think Rare made another great case for why I love their games so much.
I mean, they really put a lot into their games. It never feels like a game's half-assed.
Exactly. They definitely have their own unique style, and I think this kind of. I don't think I like it as much as the Donkey Kong Country series, but sure. I think it's a great follow through with that.
Right, it's a great standalone title. Yeah, it's my only complaint about it is that I wish we got a sequel.
Exactly, that's right.
Other than that, I understand.
Yes. Good Ghoulies, good everything.
Yes.
It was a blast to play through. I recommend it for anybody to at least go through it at least one time. I think it's worth it.
Give it a shot. You might be surprised at how much you like it.
That's right. So that is going to wrap up our review of Grab by the Ghoulies on the Retro Review crew.
Yes.
I think we're up to 15 games now? 14?
I think so.
Somewhere around there.
Yes, we're moving and counting, my friend.
That's right. And you want to announce the game that we're going to next?
So the one we're working on now is, I believe, our first Game Boy game.
Yes.
That we have started. Final Fantasy Adventure for the original Game Boy.
Yes.
An absolute classic. The first in the Secret of Mana series was actually not a Secret of Mana game or anything. It was, but it wasn't called that. It was called Final Fantasy Adventure.
Yes.
And that is the one we'll be exploring for our next Retro Review cruise. So, yeah, we're excited for it, and hopefully you guys are too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just kind of in the beginning of it, but it's been a lot of fun right now. So I dig the enemies, and we'll get there. We'll get there next. So
it's a game I played when I was a kid back in the day, and I'm excited to play through it again because I haven't played through it since, probably early 90s is my guess. Maybe mid 90s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been a minute.
And this is my first ever into the Final Fantasy. I know it's not technically a Final Fantasy storyline game, but this realm, I've never played the Mana series, so I'm really looking forward to it. So,
well, in my humble opinion, you are in for a treat.
Yeah, thank you.
But we shall see.
All right, and that's going to take care of the Retro Review crew.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed it, and we're glad to bring you this episode of Grab by the Ghoulies.
Yes, and in case we didn't, I don't think we mentioned it this time. We've mentioned it in every other episode, but I'm Travis.
And I'm Matt.
Yes, and thank you for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Retro Review crew out.